school, and it drives me a little crazy. Again, he came up big with that three, biggest three he's ever made, but with, to your point, with 37.5 seconds left, they're up 3 when Steph throws it a little behind Draymond and puts it, because Steph got a quick double team, and Draymond was in trouble, but then he shuffles his feet and just carelessly steps back across the half-court line, and all of a sudden, you give Toronto the ball back. I was like, what are you doing? That's a play that loses that closeout game on the road, usually. Yes. And then what happens? Yes. Our man, DeMarcus Cousins, for all the good things he did, he moves on a screen. That's with 15.7 seconds left. They're up 1 point, and they're trying to get Steph open for another 3, and let's just say, hypothetically, if he gets off the pick cleanly and it's not moving, and he makes a 3, the game's over because they're going to be up 4 points. Moving pick, offensive foul, and it's going the other way with 15.7 seconds left. And it's way too much time to give Toronto at home a shot to win the game down 1. So you have 2 massive blunders in the last 37 seconds left that gave Toronto new life and new life. And now let's talk briefly about the final play of the game. This is just me. After all the buildup for number 2, he is Jordan-esque. You just talked about, you thought he was going to have the Jordan conclusion. On the final play, to me, he has enough time to size up what is happening because Iggy just roamed on the last play. He's got Lowry, but Lowry's running a baseline pick off Gasol to the far corner. So Iggy just says, well, I'm just going to go out there and double him. So he's coming up on the left, and obviously it would be to number 2's right, but to number 2's left is Clay. Well, to me, if you're Jordan-esque, you see this coming, you realize there's no clear-cut pass to make. Nobody's just wide open like we've seen LeBron, where you say, well, what's his name? Kyle Korver was wide open in the corner, or George Hill was wide open for a potential layup. Well, there was nobody clearly wide open. So Jordan-esque, if you're Jordan-esque, you just power hard to your left on Clay with the basketball. You dribble, get him into just inside the top of the circle, and then you just bounce him off the way you can bounce off anybody with your strength, and then just rise up and shoot the potential game winner. That's your game to win. It's on a platter. It's you. It's your quote-unquote house, your new house, which is about to be your old house.
Well, Skip, here's the thing. What happened is that Kyle Lowry, he ran himself into trouble because Draymond was playing Marc Gasol. And so he ran, and so Draymond could easily come off Marc Gasol and contest Kyle Lowry. Once Iggy starts to cheat towards Kawhi Lowry should just go to the basket, like George Hill did.
Yeah, he's just running their play that they called in the huddle. He's running a baseline screen off Gasol to go to the far corner, and I assumed were they running that for him? It looked like it.
Right.
Okay.
Well, it looked like, Skip, it looked like what they would call a 1-4, what we saw with Denver ran against, not Denver, what Portland ran against Denver, because he felt if Kawhi and Nick Nurse thought, well, if we get the pick and roll, they're going to trap Kawhi and make him give up the ball. So let's put everybody down. Kawhi, you get the ball at the top, you go one-on-one, and then we'll live whatever decision you make at that time. If you get the pull-up jumper, take it. But if they come with the double team, Kawhi Leonard is smart enough to understand, let me find the open guy. But what happened is because Kyle Lowry and Marc Gasol was so close, it was so easy for Draymond to come off Marc and contest Kyle's shot. He ends up getting, I think, a piece of it, and the ball goes out of bounds, and they win the game 106-105.
He just got fingertips on it, and it went offline behind the backboard. But I think Draymond was actually on Gasol to begin with, and Iggy just let Lowry go, just let him run free. So if you could have whipped it quickly around, he would have been open. And Draymond made a great defensive call because it's 3-2-1, and he just knew there wasn't time for Kyle Lowry to pass the ball to Gasol for some little bunny shot. So,
we get the luxury of hindsight, Skip. He should have pump faked him and jumped into him.
I think it might have been after the buzzer. It'd be real close. Maybe. Yeah, that's the luxury of hindsight. I think you just feel like, we're 2-1. I got to just go and shoot this. So,
but you give the Warriors credit. Skip, I'm not letting Kawhi beat me. I'm not going to let Kawhi go. I know Clay is a tremendous one-on-one defender, but I don't want him in that situation against Kawhi. I'm going to get the ball out of his hands. and I'm going to live with anyone else beating me. Marc Gasol take a jumper. If Kyle Lowry, if Pascal Siakam, if Danny Green, Skip, if they take that shot, you got to live. Sometimes you have to be willing to live with a B, C, or D player taking the shot. I just can't let A beat me. I'm not letting Kawhi beat me. I'm not letting LeBron James or James Harden. You can't let those guys beat you. If your auxiliary guys, if they beat you with a last-second shot, Skip, you tip your hat and say, man, that was a hell of a series. Congratulations. But I refuse to let Kawhi beat me in that moment. And Steve Kerr, I don't know if they called it or Iggy just took it upon himself to say, I'm going to go trap him and get this ball out of his hands. That was a heck of a play.
Okay, 2 quick points. You put LeBron in the conversation. I'm going to remind everybody, game 1 a year ago at Oracle in the finals, LeBron's got Steph on him with no double team, and all he has to do is rise up and shoot a 17-foot jump shot, down 1 to win the game. Same situation as this. That was a pretty easy call to me, and he whips it to George Hill, who's never played in the finals before, and George Hill gets fouled, and he makes one, misses the second one.
Pascal Siakam has never been in the finals.
Okay,
Kyle Lowry's never been in the finals.
Okay.
Never this Marc Gasol.
Okay, to me, if number 2 is the guy,
Skip.
if number 2 is the guy you say he is, then you have to just take that shot. Just go ahead and power through, go to your left, go around Clay the left way, because there's nobody clearly open anywhere. It's not like they left somebody glaringly open anywhere, because Steph stayed with Danny Green over in the near corner. So there's no obvious path. He whips it to Van Vliet, but Van Vliet doesn't really have a shot either because he's being guarded.
Right. Skip, if you remember, in Game 7 of the NBA Finals, the Lakers against the Celtics, who hit that last three? Kobe gave the ball up. He threw the ball to Metta World Peace and then tried to get it back. And Metta took it. Ron Artest at the time, he took the last-second shot.
Was he open?
At some point in time, and Skip, my point, yes.
Wide open.
My point is that you don't always have to play hero ball. Sometimes the right play is never the wrong decision. I still believe Kawhi made the right play. I believe it's the right decision. It just so happens that Marc Gasol and Kyle Lowry were so close together that Draymond, who was guarding Marc Gasol at the time, was able to pivot, get off, and contest the shot. Give Draymond credit. Give Iggy credit, whether they called it or not, to say, you know what, let's get this ball out of Kawhi's hand before something bad happens. And give the Warriors credit, because Skip, we talked about it. Their DNA is what? They always talk about our DNA, our DNA, our DNA. It's defense. And what we saw the other night is what they couldn't stop them from scoring. At some point in time, you got to make stops. You got to get stops. And they got stops when they needed. They were down 6 with 3 minutes to go. And they got stops when they absolutely had to have them. And they got one at the most opportune of times, which was 15 seconds. And they ended up getting a game 6 on their home court.
All I saw all night long last night was Lowry and Van Vliet shredding that DNA defense of the Warriors. They got into the lane at will and imposed their will, because every time one of those 2 little guards got in the lane, great things happened for Toronto, because they get open in the middle and they beat their guy off the dribble, and all of a sudden hell breaks loose. It just causes chaos.
Right.
So maybe the better play, what if they had let Van Vliet or Lowry go from the top and just dribble drive and get in the lane and kick it to somebody? Maybe that's the better play.
Yeah, but when you got a Kawhi Leonard on your team, you're going to put the ball in your superstar's hands.
Okay,
but I
you
don't
want
know
it
if you
in his
saw it
hands
last
or
night,
not?
Skip.
Is it in or out?
I do.
Okay, you're giving me both sides of the equation. I'm good with your first side.
There you go.
Okay.
No, you don't. No. I don't give you no both sides. I'm saying the right play is never the wrong decision. I want the ball in Kawhi Leonard's hands, and I'll live with every decision he makes.
Okay, I will not, because he didn't make a decision that led to a game-winning shot. If he's that guy,
Skip, you can't.
You
You can't have the luxury of hindsight.
How many times in this series have we seen him just drive on 2 guys and just bounce one of them off and just go up and make a 10-foot shot? Could have done that last night.
But I tell you what you did see. You saw Kyle Lowry turn a lot of shots down last night, didn't you? He had some wide open threes and passed the ball to Siakam and passed the ball to Serge Ibaka. Did you notice that last night, Skip Bayless? Did you notice also they had only, in the first 4 games, they had missed only 10 free throws. They missed 6 last night, Skip.
Okay.
I've heard a lot of
Number
players
2
that's
missed a
won
couple.
championship games. And they say the hardest game to win
I agree.
is the game that you need to get the 4.
Totally agree.
So don't think they don't feel the pressure because you're in your building. And the pressure is mounting.
The pressure is mounting, and as the pressure mounted last night, once again, Golden State, who lives and dies by the three-point shot, lived by it last night by making 20. The team that has won the three-point shooting for the night has won every game of this series. So now as they go home, can Golden State continue to drop threes, rain threes? Because if they will, and they do, and I think they will, they're going to win Game 6 to force a Game 7, and boy, the pressure will really be on the home team then.
And Skip, we got to give you
don't worry about no pressure. I want 100 cases of Duke.
I did do that.
Yes, you predicted 109 to 104, which was the closest to the actual score of 106 to 105. So
thank you for that.
Some breakfast sprinkles for you.
Whatever, Skip.
Okay.
All right, we're going to give you a chance to get even, though, Shannon. Don't worry. So is anyone to blame for Kevin Durant's injury? We're going to discuss that next. And don't forget to listen every day on the Fox Sports channel on SiriusXM. We'll be right back, everybody.